أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تر إلى الملأ من بني إسرائيل من بعد موسى إذ قالوا لنبي له مبعث لنا ملكا نقاتل في سبيل الله قال هل عسيتم إن كتب عليكم القتال ألا تقاتلوا قالوا وما لنا ألا نقاتل في سبيل الله وقد أخرجنا من ديارنا وأبنائنا فلما كتب عليهم القتال تولوا إلا قليلا منهم والله عليم بالظالمين وقال لهم نبيهم إن الله قد بعث لكم طالوت ملكا قالوا أنى يكون له الملك علينا ونحن أحق بالملك منه ولم يؤت سعة من المال قال إن الله اصطفاه عليكم وزاده بسطة في العلم والجسم والله يؤتي ملكه من يشاء والله واسع عليم صدق الله العظيم. Continuing with the targheeb and encouragement towards qital, fighting in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One was the incident which we discussed last week or 2 weeks ago, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the incident of those people who fled from the area, from the village, from the city which was afflicted with the plague. So that example was shown, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave that example, that when they left their city, then the next city they went to, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still afflicted them with death. That a person cannot escape death where and when it is written for them. Another example Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives for this and for encouragement towards qital and for encouragement towards fighting the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala where it's applicable, and the adab, the etiquettes, the ahkam, the commands regarding it is in the incident of Talut and Jalut. That when Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, he left the world, when he passed from the Banu Israel, the Banu Israel, they were upon the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they followed the commandments for a certain time. And this was the habit of all people, that when the Nabi would be there, he would work amongst them, he would give them da'wah, encourage them, they would vary, but then some would accept the da'wah, they would accept it, and then they would continue upon it. As the Nabi would leave, then after some time, the people, their situation would deteriorate, and they would once again start wavering and leaving the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because there is no Nabi amongst them to tell them what to do, no one there to continuously guide them. Their ummah was not like our ummah, the word continuously. We are also supposed to be doing the work of da'wah, encouraging one another, reminding one another. They didn't have that system. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent another Nabi. Ala kulli hal, regardless, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after the time of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, the people of Banu Israel, they started deteriorating in being steadfast upon the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of Mufassirun write that this was about the time, some 1100 years before Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. Some historians, they write that. So the incident of Talut and Jalut is that as the Banu Israel, their hala, their condition started deteriorating, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put a jabbar qawm upon them, yani a very oppressing nation upon them. These were known as the Amaliqa. The Amaliqa tribe were a very strong nation. Physically they were very strong people, and their king was Jalut. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them kingship over the Banu Israel as an effect of them not following the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that when the Muslimun, those that are supposed to be the believers, those that say we believe in Allah and His Rasul, when they do not follow the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts oppressive rulers upon them. Right? So this actually, many times we see it the other way around. That we say that, oh, it's an oppressive people, hence the people are not good. No, rather the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the other way. That when a people do not follow the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when people themselves do not bring justice in their own lives, in their personal lives, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appoints such people, such rulers upon them, that they are zalim and they are oppressive, as a type of punishment, so that they remember, so that they are reminded, so that they turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is what happened. that when the condition became such, now the Sadat, the rulers, or not the rulers at that time, rather the prestigious people amongst the Banu Israel, now they thought to themselves that look what happened now. That all this time we are being oppressed. Why? Because we didn't follow the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now they turned to the Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At that time, Mufassirun write that it was Sham'un, some say it was Shamwil alayhi salatu wasalam. It's not mentioned in the Quran just says whoever the Nabi was. Mufassirun, some say that it was Shamwil, some say it was Sham'un, and different opinions are there. So over here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in verse 246 of Surah Baqarah says, أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الْمَلَئِ مِنْ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ مِنْ بَعْدِ مُوسَى. That do you not look at or do you not see, yani obviously the Sahaba anhum, Rasulullah, how would they see it in this incident? They wouldn't see it. Yani, seeing over here means do you not ponder, do you not reflect over it, do you not think about it, right? Because as the Quran Kareem says, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَصِهِمْ عِبْرَةٌ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. The end of Surah Yusuf. Why is this entire incident of Surah Yusuf mentioned? It's not for a romantic story that someone has some fun, is a very romantic. No. فِي قَصَصِهِمْ عِبْرَةٌ. There is an ibrah, there's a lesson to be taken. Sometimes ahkam, sometimes commands are to be taken. أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الْمَلَئِ مِنْ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ. And do not ponder over what happened to those Mala' min Bani Israel, the elders of the Banu Israel. The Mala' over here means the elders, those that held some position, some power amongst the Banu Israel, they're noble people. Min ba'di Musa, after the time of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. So this is after the time of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, before the time of Isa, obviously. إِذْ قَالُوا لِنَبِيٍّ لَهُمْ. When they said to a Nabi from amongst them. The Quran just said Nabi amongst them. Now Mufassirun, as I said, some say that Shamwil alayhi salam, others give different names. إِبْعَثْ لَنَا مَلِكًا نُقَاتِلْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. That send for us a king, a ruler, who we can fight under him in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now they realized, many a times it would happen, at the time of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, when he gave them the command, when he told the Banu Israel that look, the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, we need to go fight these people. So what did they say? You and your Allah go fight. Why are you telling us? If really that's what's needed, then you and Allah go fight. Why are you telling us to fight? So because they didn't follow the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what's happening now? They themselves saying, oh, it looks like this is what's going to have to happen. We have to do this now. So the lesson for us to take here is what? That when commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are told to us, when we are informed regarding the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it is in our best interest, whether it's our deen or whether it's dunya, whether it's in this world or in the hereafter, that we follow the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as individuals and as communities, ijtima'an and infiradan. إِذْ قَالَ نَبِيٍّ لَهُمْ إِبْعَثْ لَنَا مَلِكًا نُقَاتِلْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And in this there's also highlighted a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there's actually an asl to be, a principle to be understood. What is this principle? That the sharia of those aqwam before us, sharia of those people, of those anbiya alayhim salatu before us, if they are mentioned in our books, whether it's the Quran Kareem, whether it's in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there is, that is also a command for us to take unless otherwise. I'll repeat it, that whatever the sharia of Anbiya alayhim salatu wasallam were before us, if they are mentioned in our books, they ought to be followed unless specified otherwise. Right? So if there are commands that are given, or if there are things which have been mentioned that these were wrongs, for example, ayat of adab were given upon certain people that they did certain things, automatically that means in our sharia it's also impermissible, unless specified otherwise. Famous example, this issue comes up many a times, and because it's something which is which some people like to use this as fitna in the ummah. So for example, at the time of Lut alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, entire rukur have been revealed regarding the adab that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent for homosexuality. So that these ayat in itself mean what? That it's impermissible. It's haram to engage in such acts, right? Why? Because it's been revealed in our books and there hasn't been anything said otherwise. Although the hadith of Rasulullah also have many warnings regarding that, but these ayat in themselves are also hujjah, they're also proof of impermissibility of such an act. Right? This is a principle of fiqh. That shar'u man qablana, sharia of those before us, that is also a hujjah, it's a proof, unless said otherwise. So over here, in these ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also indicating towards a command that jihad and qital is done under a governance, under a rule. Individuals don't just get up and start doing things. إذ قالوا نبيا لهم ابعث لنا ملكا نقاتل في سبيل الله. They send for us a ruler, a commander who we can fight under him. قال هل عسيتم إن كتب عليكم القتال ألا تقاتلوا. And the Nabi knew the people of Banu Israel very well. He said, look, will this happen again? That if qital has been prescribed upon you, that you will not fight? Again, the same thing is going to happen, that when Musa ﷺ, it was prescribed, but you didn't fight, you backed off, you were cowards. هل عسيتم إن كتب عليكم القتال ألا تقاتلوا. So they answered, قالوا وما لنا ألا نقاتل. Why should we not fight في سبيل الله. وقد أخرجنا من ديارنا. We've already been expelled. وأبنائنا. That our children have been taken away from us. So then what happens? فلما كتب عليهم القتال. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the hukum, command that you will have to go and fight the people of Amalika. تولوا إلا قليلا منهم. Once again, most of them turned away. إلا قليلا, except a few of them. Some of them stayed and they fought with Talut, who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the Malik for the Banu Israel. Wallahu alimun bil zalimin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most knowing of those that are oppressors. And in this there is a type of, we could say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kind of jesting at them, that who are the true zalims. The outwardly they're the Banu Israel saying what? That the Amalika, they're the ones that are oppressing us, they're oppressing us, so we need this. At the end of this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Allah alimun bil zalimin. Who is the oppressor? Yani you are the oppressor, because you didn't follow the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're the ones that are oppressing. Allahu alimun bil zalimin. وقال لهم نبيهم إن الله قد بعث لكم طالوت ملكا. So those that did stay, those that were ready to continue fighting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's Nabi told them that look, who has been appointed as the Malik, who has been appointed as the commander-in-chief is إن الله قد بعث لكم طالوت ملكا. The Talut has been appointed as the Malik. قالوا أن يكون له الملك علينا. Why has he been made? Why not us? Why this person? So the same thing. One, first, they did not want to fight. Second, those that did say, okay, we'll stay. When whoever the Malik was appointed, they said, now why him? So now again questioning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's appointment. أن يكون له الملك علينا ونحن أحق بالملك. And this was the same shaitani prescription, that وَنَحْنُ أَحَقُّ بِالْمُلْك, that we are more rightful. The same thing with shaitan did when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, okay, make sajda to Adam alayhi salatu salam. He said what? Why should we make sajda to him? And the dalil shaitan gave was, I'm actually better. Why? Because I've made out of fire is over sand, etc. So the same type of argument. نَحْنُ أَحَقُّ بِالْمُلْك. We are more rightful of having kingship. We are more rightful of being someone from amongst us, those that are considered to be the nobles. One of us should be the king. وَلَمْ يُؤْتَ سَعَةً مِنَ الْمَالِ. He doesn't have a lot of money. He's not wealthy. He's not rich. Those people that are rich, they should be the leaders. That was their thought, their logic. قال إن الله اصطفاه عليكم. The Nabi with hilm, with sabr, patience, again explains to him, look, إن الله اصطفاه عليكم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose him. He has been chosen from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm not telling you this because there's something in it for me, rather this is the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in this there is also, and over here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the hikmah as well. That why has he been chosen? وَزَادَهُ بَسْطَةً فِي الْعِلْمِ وَالْجِسْمِ. For two qualities over here. فِي الْعِلْمِ وَالْجِسْمِ. That the question here is, who will be the Malik, who will be the commander-in-chief to lead you against in jihad, in qital, against these people? Now what qualities are needed over here? Based on that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the appointment. Because you have money, what does that have to do with this appointment over here? Although money and wealth, these are things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran himself calls it khair, there is goodness in it. But over here in this position, what does that have to do with how much money he has? إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَاهُ عَلَيْكُمْ وَزَادَهُ بَسْطَةً فِي الْعِلْمِ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him much al-ilm. Over here, al-ilm, now this is very important, where the Arabic, each word of the Arabic makes a difference here. Over here, alif lam is used. Alif lam in Arabic, when it's used, we translate as the knowledge. But in Arabic, we call this alif lam lil ahd. Something which is understood over here. It's understood what type of ilm. And what type of ilm is needed to lead a people in jihad, in fighting. Right? So over here, ilm won't be that he has all the other ilm of tahara and salah, etc. Obviously, those are also requirements. But over here, what is more needed? Al-ilm, over here, that ilm which is needed, one is obviously the laws of jihad that are definitely there, the commands regarding that, but also tadbir, planning, how to fight, what type of strategy is needed. He is most well equipped in that, and he has the highest amount of knowledge in in this type of warfare. Hence, he has been made and appointed as the ruler. So that's the first one. Bastatan fil ilm. He has good organizational management skills, whatever that is needed. Wal jism, and he has physical capability. So over here, this is what is needed. The commander-in-chief who doesn't just sit in the back and tells you what to do. No, rather that he will be also in the front lines. He will be there fighting with you. Bastatan fil ilmi wal jism. Wallahu yu'ti mulkahu man yasha. Now over here, so in ayat of the Quran Kareem, Mufassirun use two words sometimes. The some ayat are hakimana. Hakim, yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows his hikmah, explains to the people. And some ayat are hakimana. Hakimana mean, yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this is it. This is the hukum, that's it, you have to follow it. We don't need to explain everything to you. So over here, Zadu bastata fil ilmi wal jism, hikmah is given. Why has he been made the ruler, or the commander? Wallahu yu'ti mulkahu man yasha. There's a type of hukum over here. Now look, Allah subhanahu, whoever he wants to make the king, he'll make him the king. Whether you like it or you don't like it, that's the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu yu'ti mulkahu man yasha. Wallahu wasi'un alim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most encompassing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all knowing. Make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Give us understanding of the ayat of the Quran.